So we're here at the Museum of Olaf. How do you say his last name again? Wieghorst? Wieghorst? Ajá. Pues yo creo que es la casa esa. Look at this. To Betty. Let's wish it Olaf. Oh, is it cool? Bunch of drawings, sketches, and paintings. Portrait of a Mexican.
Doing your video tour?
Yeah, I'm doing my little video tour. Might as well. The Pope.
Yes,
Did he
nothing
do that one, the puzzle too?
He would sell his work commercially to a commercial company.
Oh.
And then the company would keep the artwork on stock. So say someone comes in and they want to make puzzles or they want to make calendars. They'll flip through pictures or see them on the walls and then they'll go, oh, I want that.
Yeah. Oh,
that meant that the commercial company gets paid. But Olaf Wieghorst would have only been paid when he sold them the artwork. And that gave them to write. Yeah, that gave them to write to resell the image.
Image and use, Oh,
and so that was what he was doing. Most of his artwork was done for commercial purposes. You know,
that one's
something
all,
where you
there
sell
it
it to a company,
and then they
sell
use
them
it.
the painting, they get to keep the painting.
And
then people
and then they
have
do
their
what they
painting.
want
Yeah, they
with
do
it.
it. So. But yeah, once he got out of the
Did
police force.
Did he do this too?
That one was done.
Or is it the same
that was
process?
Done, yeah, that was done using his image.
His images and his art. Yeah, okay.
Okay,
I got
that
it.
was actually gifted at him at some sort of a ceremony.
Okay. That's nice.
Artists can be busy people.
Yeah.
Often enough. But, and then, this one is a picture.
Yeah.
In Eisenhower's Oval Office.
Yeah, and then.
And in the background is an Olaf Wieghorst painting. So wait a minute, here we go. Why can't I remember Ford?
I was going to say Ford.
Ford is so
right.
So
it's
forgettable,
Ford, Reagan,
so Ford,
Eisenhower,
Reagan, and Bush Senior.
And Bush Senior.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Did he explain what that was that's in the picture? The other thing in the picture?
What that?
Doesn't it look like a thumb?
Is that somebody's head or something?
No,
or a thumb?
no.
It looks like a.
It took a while, and I found some pictures on the web.
Yeah.
It's the nose cone of a missile. They rolled the nose cone of the missile into the Oval Office and took lots of pictures of Eisenhower sitting at his desk looking at it, standing at his desk looking at it,
Olaf in the background.
standing near him looking at it. Well, you know.
Right.
Even presidents have to do advertising pictures.
Yeah, well, that's cool that they included
But
the
they
Olaf.
found one that happened to have the Olaf Wieghorst painting
and Olaf
in
in the back.
Because see,
So
back
now-
then the Oval Office would have been decorated like one of your rooms at home, because you're not at home all the time for the 4 years that you're president, or 8 years when you're president. So you have one room at least at the White House that is like being at home.
Yes.
And it's not the advertising thing that it is nowadays, and it's not a public place like this.
So now I'm going to be aware of Olaf. So if I ever see like some kind of yard sale, garage sale, or secondhand store, or somewhere, I could recognize, or at least look for his.
Well, you can look for Olaf Wieghorst. But sometimes he just signed small pieces with Olaf. And sometimes he signed it O.W. Or O.W. quarter circle 2C.
2C.
Just depends on how busy he was as to how much he signed it.
Yeah.
Because, when he had prints made of some of his paintings, he would literally have them piled up on his dining room table, because he has to sign all of them. He has to number every one of them, and then he has to sign all of them. So the small artwork that is all original, maybe you don't feel like signing it, so you just do a small one.
But now I'm going to also be aware, not just these, like the ones that they have in the corner, like that little paper bag.
Or the prints, like the ones.
Yes, like
between
those.
the horse and such. He didn't make very many prints.
But.
Because the
that's what you were
destroyed.
meaning right there.
O.W.
2C.
Wow. 2C was the name of the ranch that he worked at.
Oh.
But if you look at the signatures on these ones,
Yeah.
This
2C.
says Olaf Wieghorst.
Oh.
And it's kind of hard to see that says
Yeah.
Wieghorst. I mean,
But you could tell what it says.
compare that with this.
Yeah, but you could tell what it says,
Yeah.
though.
He had a lot of bucking horses,
Yeah.
and then a few, but it was just amazing what he did.
Yes,
And the amount of time that he was alive, and the amount of time that he was doing prints, too.
Yes.
But this printing process is a really difficult printing
There's
process.
the 2C on the boots.
Yep, that's his boots.
Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
See? And then it says, in the front, there's the OW.
Yep.
That's really neat.
Yeah, you know you've made it when you can have cowboy
Boy,
boots with your name on
it, right? Or at least your initials.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that's real neat. It's funny how we just parked here in the front because my mom was coming to visit a friend of hers down. They were doing her nails. My friend and I, that's the reason we're almost dressed like he's wearing some socks. Jim says he liked my socks. We just came from playing a tournament at the Coronado Marriott pickleball.
Pickleball, okay.
Yeah, so we just stopped right here. My mom's and then we went down and we were watching the videos and stuff. And my mom's the one that mentioned that little house.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. And that's when we started talking to you. And
Yeah.
I like museums and stuff, interesting stuff like this. And
Yeah, so you might have to come by and
I'll
and
come
you can
back.
do it more relaxed. And,
yeah,
and I don't know whether were worried that, oh my God, that she sees me in their garden. But it's part of our reason to have the garden is a place for people to come and sit and read or talk to each other, or, not play their saxophone. But
no, yeah, right, yeah.
But, if someone was having a meal over at one of the restaurants and they didn't want to, sit someplace that's noisy, they can bring their food over here and come and eat and just relax. And we do open up the house and give people a tour, but we can't keep many things in the house. Because it's an old house and you can't do any air conditioning or heating in it because it's an old house.
It's an old house, it'll ruin it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
and the lack of security.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you'd have to put bars on the windows and stuff, and it's like.
I will have to do another tour though. Just again, I'm gonna have to program it. This time I know where to come, and I'll come more prepared and earlier or something. And
well, lots of people say they've lived here for years, didn't know you've been here, and we've been here for over 25 years.
There you go.
But we're not allowed to put up signs because the city of El Cajon doesn't like signs because then there'd be signs everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah.
And it can, look pretty ugly.
Yeah.
So, but they don't even let us put a sign down at the end of the road that says just plain museum with an arrow.
Right.
So, we're trying to get the word out that we're here.
Well, I'll post this video here, and I got a YouTube channel.
Okay.
And I'll post it, and I'll make sure I'll put the address and how nice you guys been. What's your name again?
My name's Eileen.
Eileen, very, very nice to meet you, Eileen. My name is Isaac. And then I'll post your name, and Jim's there, the sheriff.
Yeah, the sheriff.
And I'll say,
he's not wearing weaponry today.
Right.
So it's a good day.
But I'll see if I can get people to come
And Jim
over.
was one of the original people that started this whole thing
really?
of rescuing the house.
See, he didn't mention that.
Yeah, it's not part of his tour.
Right.
But
Well, he was just being modest.
he's one of our top people
cool.
of starting this whole thing. So.
All right.
And once again, it's another one of those things where one person tells someone that something's happening. Oh, that's not right. That shouldn't happen. They shouldn't just tear down the house and you're selling the property. And how about a museum? For this guy. I mean, a world famous artist here in El Cajon. Who would have known?
Yeah.
We're trying to put the word out.
There you go.
Yep, here he is.
We need more things, more stuff like this about people that matter.
Yeah.
Right.
Plus, we want people to be able to see when they're going to be an artist or trying to be an artist.
Yeah.
To do what he did when he was trying to learn how to be an artist, which is
cattle prod.
You go to that has the
OW2C.
O.W. Quarter circle
2C.
Yeah. But you learn as an artist, you can learn by looking at other people's paintings.
There you go. Yeah.
And try and duplicate
or
the
get
brushwork.
Yeah.
And see if you can't.
Or get some ideas.
Yeah, you try and copy
get inspired. There you go.
And find out that's what you thought you knew how to do. We had a class in here that had a whole bunch of high school students in it that were being taught the basics of how to do oil paintings. It only lasted for 2 days. However, to do a proper oil painting takes weeks. Because actually you do it in layers, one over the top of the other. And it's a really difficult technique to learn. Because it takes so long to get anything.
These look like pictures.
Yeah. And then you get close up to them, and then you see colors and brushwork that you wouldn't have thought would do what it does, but when you step back, it shows the edges of the muscles. And
and like if you stand back, you can...
And this is a very different style for him than the more realistic.
Yeah, you see,
and he's learning later in life to present just the subject and kind of let the scenery go into
that one's
the background.
real nice too, right there.
Whereas that painting of the Navajo family is a lot about the scenery.
Hey, that's the same. That's the same one over here.
Yep. At one point, he realized that a lot of people couldn't buy his paintings. They were they were very expensive. So he had prints made of certain paintings.
Oh, that's a print?
That he kept.
That's a print?
That's a print.
Oh, I thought
and that
like
allowed people that couldn't buy this,
the original,
but they could buy that.
Oh, I thought maybe he just like, I'm gonna paint it again, but smaller.
Yeah. No.
It's just a print.
Yeah,
okay.
it's made a print. And the prints were only made in his lifetime. So this is a very good copy, and for people who say, who needs museums? You can just pull it up on the screen, or you can buy a print. And we're showing a print that was considered acceptable by Olaf Wieghorst himself as a representative for this, but it's not a substitute for seeing the real thing.
Exactly.
And so, yes, we still do need museums to see paintings and sculpture and pottery, and to see the real thing, and to get back out in the world, for crying out loud.
Right. Yeah.
Come out and see things. Come out and touch a saddle.
I didn't want to touch anything.
Yes, you touch that saddle.
Nice.
We put small children on that little black one there, so that people have pictures taken with their kids.
Nice.
Because they may never have sat on a saddle, and they may never sit in a saddle again in their life.
Exactly.
And we don't
Have
mind.
Have you ever been on a horse? Have you ever?
I trained horses.
Oh, you trained?
Yeah,
horses.
I used to ride them, train them, show them, parade them. I even did a wedding with a couple of my ponies.
I've
We
never
brought
been
the
on
bride up to the head of the aisle. It was kind of cool.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Olaf.
El marcador para las redes, ¿verdad?
Yeah, there's a cattle prod. That's what it's called, a cattle prod?
No, that's a brand.
Cattle brand?
You put your brand on the
yeah,
cattle
on the
because
cattle,
when you take them
backside.
out to graze, all the cattle will end up eventually
Together.
wandering together.
That way you can tell them
And then
apart.
once a year, when it's time to bring all of your cattle in, you look for your brand and
And
bring
what's
your
that
cattle
called
in.
when they go and bring them back? There's a name?
It's usually just gathering them in.
Gathering them in?
Just gathering them in. Each region has their own terms
Okay.
for what it is, but it's just a matter of gathering them in when either when it's time to breed the females, or when it's time
To count
that
them
the calves are old enough that they can be separated from their mothers.
Oh, okay.
So you usually have two gatherings.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Well, it was very,
A
very
little bit of west here in El
Little El
Cajon,
Cajon.
still here.
still here.
Este es el de la casa, ahora el dueño.
Sí, ese es el pintor, Olaf. All right, well. And there's Zeke.
And there's Zeke.
Zeke.
He used to be
The
someone's
bison.
pet from
The
somebody
bison.
who lived up in Ramona.
Uh-huh.
And when his pet finally passed away, his wife put her foot down and said, "No, Zeke is not living in our living room." And so he donated it to us. And it gives kids a chance, once again, to see what is that animal. You see it on the screen, you see it on the TV, but you don't ever really see
Because that's
how big that is.
That's a bison,
That's a bison,
not a buffalo.
not a buffalo.
That's a bison, people.
That's a
See?
bison.
That's a bison. All right, well.
Yeah. And every now and then I have to vacuum him.
Really?
Well, yeah, it
Because he
gets
collects
dust and stuff on
he collects
it.
dust.
Every now and then I have to climb a big tall ladder and
That's probably the only thing.
carefully vacuum him.
That's probably the only thing he gets to do now, just collect dust.
Yeah, just a dust collector. Well, he had a good life in
He had
his
a good
pasture.
life, right?
Yeah.
Looked like he was happy.
Well, I don't know about that.
Wow. Oh, there's John
He
Wayne.
was a happy bison.
He was a happy bison.
Was a happy bison.
Oh, there's Olaf over here. Have more pictures and paintings and.
Plus we show, original clothing and Kachina dolls. And,
That's what they're
wife
called?
collected basketry. So
That's what they're called, Kachina dolls? Those right there?
Down here.
Oh, okay.
Which a lot of people don't quite understand about kachinas is originally they used to be a way for storytellers to remember the stories.
Oh.
So everything that they wear and all the colors mean certain things.
Uh-huh.
And the storytellers would go from one village to the next and tell stories, and they would bring out the kachina and show everybody the kachina, and then he would tell the story.
Tell a story.
Well, heck, this is before TVs. You know?
Right, yeah.
And they didn't have books.
Yeah.
So,
and who's this
and then
lady?
it wasn't until people were interested.
Is that his wife?
And that's his wife,
May?
May
May Wieghorst?
Wieghorst.
Wieghorst.
So while he was busy looking for ideas for paintings when they traveled, she was busy collecting. Things. The other thing too is that if you do like a favor for an Indian, especially for indigenous people,
Yes.
Most cultures require them to give you something back. And
right.
so quite a few of her collection is also gifts.
Gifts, yeah.
So.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Lo que hacía tu papá.
Oh, yeah. Rocks.
And then of course, turquoise jewelry to die for.
Yes. Real nice. All right. Well,
And behind every great man is a wife.
Right.
And she did most of the business for him and helped him be the artist that he could be by taking the burden off of him. And
yeah. I'm going to grab a little chocolate here if you don't mind.
little road food?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the dark chocolate one.
Yeah.
You mind if I take two of them?
That's fine.
Take that baby with two. I said three. All right. Well, thank you very much.
Eileen.
Eileen. Thank you very much,
Or
Eileen.
I teach people. My name is Eileen.
Oh, that makes sense.
Ponte con ella.
Okay, she wants to take a picture of this. Yeah. All right. Thank you.
You always
Eileen.
have to have two. Someone might be blinking.
Right. Thank you, Eileen. Well, here, Olaf's Corner and the museum. Thank you very much.